Hi, this short tutorial will give you an introduction to searching the Arte Publico Hispanic Historical Collection database available online from the SHSU library. Once you're inside the database, you'll see this search page. Obviously, you have boxes at the top where you can type in the words that you would like to search for. You do have options to search specifically for words appearing in an author's name, a title, a subject term, and so forth, but you don't have to select anything here. You can simply leave that field as it is, and it will just search all of the information for each item in the database. You'll see you also have a lot of options down here for narrowing your search, but again, you don't necessarily have to use any of these options. They're only there if you feel that you need to use them. One of the most useful that you'll want to pay attention to, however, is the publication date. You can specify that you want to search only between certain months and years. This can be very helpful if you're searching for a person or an event from a certain time period. You can also limit by the publication type. So for instance, you could search newspapers only, or you can look at the document type. Most of these options, including the publication type and the publication date, you can also choose to enter after you've done a search for a certain keyword and seen what your results are. So don't feel like you need to limit yourself here too much when you start out. Let's go ahead and just put in a search. Let's say that we're interested in searching for articles about international politics. You'll notice you do want to search in Spanish. The content of the database is mostly in Spanish. Let's click search and see what our results look like. You'll notice it brings back 30 results, which are all listed here in the middle. Down the left-hand side, you have additional options for narrowing down those 30 results to a smaller group. For instance, you'll see here the publication dates. It found articles ranging from 1880 to 1940. So you can use these slider bars to move those dates up or down if you want to narrow the range of years included. You also have the source types here. So for instance, to look only at newspapers, you can check that box and update your results. And now you're looking only at 29 newspaper items instead of your total 30 items. Down here you'll see you also have additional options to limit the subject to something narrower within international politics. Or you can search specifically within a certain publication, just a specific newspaper. So now let's take a look at each result. You'll see the icon here, which identifies this as a newspaper article. You'll see the title of the article with an indication that it is written in the Spanish language. And then you'll see here the information about what publication the article appeared in, the date that it was published, the length of the article, and the page number. If you roll over this little magnifying glass, you'll sometimes be able to get a summary or more information. In this case, there's not actually any additional information shown. Clicking on the title will also show you some information here, and will give you access to certain tools. For instance, if you wanted to email this citation to yourself to come back to it later. Or you'll notice a cite tool here. This will allow you to get a citation to this article in common styles like APA, Chicago, or here is the MLA citation. These citations are computer generated, so they're not guaranteed to be accurate all the time, but this can be a good starting point to copy and paste this citation into your paper, then look over it and use your common sense and your knowledge of MLA to make sure that it follows the correct citation format. So we've looked at this information about the article, and you've decided you would like to actually read this article. How do you get to it? What you want to look for is the link to full text. And you'll see from here in our list of results, below each article is a link to view full text. The words full text are always going to be your cue that that's going to get you to the complete article. So we click view full text, and you'll see here that we're looking at basically a scanned copy of this newspaper article. There's little magnifying glasses with pluses and minuses that you can use to zoom in and out to see more or less of the article. And you can drag it up and down and read it here. If you want to turn off the highlighting, you'll notice a button down here in the left that says Highlight Search Keywords. The button is a little yellow ABC. If you click that, that's going to turn off that yellow highlighting of our search terms. You can also close this little window that's appearing over the text. So this will allow you to read the complete article. If you would like to print the article or save a copy, you'll want to come over here to the toolbar, and you'll notice there is an option for a PDF file. This is going to be your best option to either save a copy to a disk to read later, or else to create a PDF and then print it. Trying to simply look at this page and go to File, Print in your browser is not going to yield good results. You will always want to use that PDF to print a copy. And if we're done reading this article, you can simply click on your result list to get back to these other results. I'm going to click on New Search to get back to the search page. I do want to draw your attention to a couple of other features that the database provides to help you. You'll see that there is an English to Spanish dictionary built in for you to search for terms. So if you have an idea of what you'd like to look for, but you're not sure of the best way to look for it, you can use that dictionary to translate between languages. There's also an index. If you look under More, Indexes, this is helpful, especially for getting a sense of kind of subject keywords. If you have an idea in mind but you don't know the exactly what words to use to look for it, you can browse in here for different ideas. For instance, if we just browsed for POLIT, this is going to take us into the alphabetical index, starting with Politica, and we'll list some other topics that are mentioned or focused on in different articles in this database to give you ideas that you could look at political corruption, international politics, politics in Mexico or a different specific country, economic politics, etc. And then all you have to do is just check any of these if you want to include them in your search. Now the Publications button is another useful one to be aware of. This will actually let you look at what newspapers, magazines, etc., what specific publications are covered in this database. So if you know a certain newspaper title, you can browse for it, and then clicking on one of these will allow you to search just within that certain publication. One last thing I want to draw your attention to. Let's pull some search results back up. Each result has this option to add to folder. This is a bookmarking tool to bookmark articles that are of interest for whatever you're researching. You mark whatever is interesting as you search, and then when you're done, come up here to this folder button in your toolbar, and this will show you all of the articles that you bookmarked. This is useful because now you can select all of these, and all at once you could email these articles to yourself, download copies of them, or export the citations to a citation management program if you use one, something like EndNoteWeb, Zotero, or similar. Now by default, when you add things to this folder, the folder is temporary. It will only last while you are logged into your browser for this search session. If you log out of your computer to go to class or work, and then you come back the next day and come back into this database, your folder will be empty. However, if you would like to save the items in your folder so that you can get back to them later and continue work on the same research, all you need to do is click here on Sign In to My EBSCOhost, or the Sign In button in the toolbar, and you're going to want to create a new account. This is just a free personal account that you create with the EBSCOhost database platform. If you sign into that personal account and save things to your folder, then they will actually be permanently saved to a folder under your account. And if you log off and log back in the next day and come back to your folder, you can view these same items. This is a great way to manage research over a long period. Also, within your personal account, you can create multiple folders and subfolders within those folders to fully organize your research in whatever way you see fit. So that is a very brief introduction to searching in the Arte Publico Historical Hispanic Collection. If you ever have any questions about using this database, you can use the Ask a Librarian button to contact the library, or go through Blackboard to your librarian's virtual office to contact me directly.